So welcome to How to Live in Love. My name is Alexander Bell, and you can download the free book which goes with this podcast, which is also called How to Live in Love, at alexanderbell.org, along with all of my free healing ambient music and many other beautiful things. So this podcast is entitled The End of Fear. Now, behind every fear that comes to us is an energy, and that energy is actually part of us. It's the energy we originally invested into the fearful thought when we first believed in it. That energy is not fear, but it became fear as we poured it into a concept, an idea of something that we did not want to happen. That is what fears are. They are thoughts of things that we don't want to happen. And because we don't want them, we resist them in a very real and physical way. Our body tenses up when that thought is present. Our heart tightens. Chemicals are released into our bloodstream. All of this happens because we are resisting an imaginary scenario in our mind, which the body treats as real. It is this resistance which is the sole cause of all our discomfort, distress, and physical fear. For this reason, the end of resistance is the birth of freedom, because resistance is the only problem we have. If we stopped resisting fearful thoughts, we would realize that they cannot threaten us, and that in fact they have something that we need, the energy we originally invested into them, part of our life force, part of our power. When we resist thoughts, we are simply affirming the reality of fear. If you do not resist the energy contained within the fear, then it is no longer fear, because there is no resistance. It is simply an energy, a force which is totally non-threatening, and that force is part of you. So we have to learn to welcome the return of the power which we invested in all those fearful thoughts, so that we can become whole again. If we keep pushing these parts of ourselves away, we will never be fully healed. So when fear arises and we don't tense up, and we don't resist or try and mentally run away from it, but instead we simply observe it, relax in its presence, and allow ourselves to feel the power contained within that form, then it is transformed back into its essence, which is pure divine energy, consciousness, our consciousness. So as we welcome back these parts of our energy field, we become more conscious, more healed, and strong. Anything you resist weakens you and automatically takes on a sense of threat in your life. So by investing our energy in thoughts of threat and then resisting them, we are literally manufacturing threat in a realm which in truth cannot threaten us, the realm of the mind. It is insanity, a mental illness which afflicts nearly all of us, weakening us and making us ill in the process. So instinctively, because we don't like to feel threatened, we try to get rid of these anxious thoughts by pushing them away or hiding from them. Most people just distract themselves endlessly in a myriad of ways, especially with other thoughts. People also try to keep themselves occupied and busy, and even when they are not active, they preoccupy themselves with entertainment, news, information, books, magazines, websites, social media, other people's lives, absolutely anything they can use to ensure their mind does not get the chance to drift towards those things that they don't really want to think about. Of course, this is totally understandable, but it's futile because we cannot escape from our own mind, which needs healing. After a day full of distraction and keeping ourselves busy, we lie in bed. How do we distract ourselves then? How do we keep the thoughts away? Many people cannot, and they suffer. They cannot sleep. They feel extremely anxious. Many people even turn to drugs for this very reason. Yet all of this running away and distraction is unnecessary, because our thoughts cannot harm us. And all our resistance does is prevent us from accepting the healing that desperately needs to occur, because we are rejecting aspects of ourselves that have become contorted and changed into fear. We cannot push those parts away and expect to find healing, peace, and wholeness. we have to let them return through their own gravitational pull towards us, and we must heal them and transform them back into what they truly are: our energy, our power, our life force. We are all crying out for healing, wholeness, for perfect peace in our heart and in our world. So this is the way it is achieved. Whatever creates disturbance, fear, or insecurity in our heart must be seen clearly and thus transformed. If we do not see it clearly, it cannot be transformed. Seeing clearly means not looking through the eyes of fear, but looking through the eyes of faith, of trust. We must trust that it is safe to relax in the presence of the fears that come into our mind. As we do so, we receive back the power contained within them, because we are open to that power, no longer closed in resistance to it. This is the great secret of healing and freedom. It is simply through trusting that our heart relaxes, and when it does relax, all sense of threat instantly vanishes. This is the very most powerful affirmation of your security and safety in this world. There is no substitute for this very real and experiential affirmation of relaxing our heart, which we must all make at some point. You allow yourself to feel safe no matter what your situation is, and thus you experience safety by not engaging with or resisting a single anxious thought that arises. You simply notice that fear wants your attention, and you decide not to give it. Instead, you remain in a state of calm, of relaxation and ease, unafraid of any thought, because you know that thoughts cannot harm you. When your attitude of resistance has gone, there is nothing to defend yourself from, because it was only your resistance that created the reality of threat in your being. Yes, of course, we see an abundance of evidence in the world to suggest that threat is real. But once you have learnt how to transform all the mental fears that approach you, and thus be strengthened by the power which they contained, you will feel safe in this world, guaranteed. No matter how things may appear externally, you are not fighting any of it, you are not afraid of it, and you are not resisting it. And thus you are at peace, at one with all the energies that approach you in their various forms, because your clear vision heals them all, transforming them from enemies into friends in need of healing. You can have the same attitude towards all the people in your life too. With fearful thoughts, all you have to do is be courageous and focused enough to observe them without averting your gaze, without allowing fear to encourage you to turn away from them, to distract yourself into other thoughts, or with external activities of any sort. You just watch them carefully, breathe deeply and gently, and relax your body as they are present. With a relaxed body and a relaxed heart, as your breathing flows deeply and peacefully, what is threatening you? You are happily willing to look directly at any shadows that arise, any doubts or fears that come into your mind, because you know that is how you free yourself from fear. That is how fear can no longer come remotely close to you, because you spot its shadow on the horizon, and you immediately shine your light upon it. You are even perfectly happy to seek out any hidden fears, so that you can illuminate and transform them. And this does not mean that you listen to the fear and engage with its story, its mental picture of reality and what is going to happen in your life. No, it means you look at it from the outside. You notice it as a shadow, and you calmly and carefully watch it like a hawk or an owl. If you get tricked into engaging with and believing the story of the fearful thought, it is just your belief in it which affirms the reality it offers to you. It is only true because you believe it to be true. So the solution? You do not believe a single anxious thought that comes into your mind. Just see the thoughts from the outside. Ask yourself, is this a fearful thought? Does this make me want to tense up, resist, run away or hide? When there is finally nothing that elicits resistance and tension in your mind and in your heart, then you dwell in a place of deep inner strength, total security and total peace. You have set yourself free from the reality of fear simply by refusing to be afraid, and thus fear disappears from your reality. This is how you walk into the light of freedom, true joy, and deep peace. This is how you become one with love. This is what healing is. You need the power which you once invested in those fearful thoughts to come back to you. Each fearful thought has a power which you once gave it. It is an absolutely vital part of your power that is trying to return itself to you so that you can finally become whole. As long as you push it away, you will remain fragmented. An energy resisted is automatically a threat, but an energy welcomed is a friend. And the truth is that all the fears are friends which you turned into hostile entities through your resistance of them. When you see one arise in your mind, know that a friend needs healing, needs welcoming back into your arms, into your heart, and thus restored to what it truly is, divine power. All is divine power. Resist it, and you create a powerful force of fear which becomes your nemesis. But if you welcome it instead, no longer feeling afraid or threatened, you will experience healing, deep union, and perfect peace in the depth of your heart. Okay, thank you for listening to this podcast. And you can download my free book, How to Live in Love, from alexanderbell.org. And you'll also find lots of free music to download, several beautiful internet radio stations full of beautiful music, and lots of meditations, including ecstatic dance meditations to help you release tension, anxiety and fear. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope you'll come back soon. Okay, goodbye.